Welcome to our Next Steps video, a video formatted tool or resource to help you take your next step towards spiritual growth. In today's video, we are going to discuss the topic of how to encourage group participation. This video is designed specifically for our life group leaders. So let's dig in. First, how group discussions could operate. From my knowledge, there are 4 different ways that group discussions can be operated. The first is a single dominator. That's when you have one person that speaks all the time and pretty much dominates the discussion for everyone. Lots of opinions, lots of sayings, lots of verbiage from one person. Usually everyone else just listens. I would compare that a lot to this video. I'm doing all the talking while you sit there and listen. The second kind is a bounce around. That's where the leader or the facilitator bounces discussion from person A to person B to person C to person D and just keeps bouncing around until everyone's happy and the discussion has come to a close. The third is what I call a roundabout or the round table. That's where the group goes in a circle all the way around and each person has a say, and what's nice about that particular format is everyone knows when it's their turn because they're next. Everyone gets the opportunity to say yes, and some people get the opportunity to say no. Whenever I use this format, I always have a rule. The rule is you can never say the same thing that someone else has already said. So usually by the second or third person, someone says, "Well, I don't know." Well, now the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and even to the last person, none of them can say, "I don't know," because it's been used. But everyone knows it's their turn and they get an opportunity to voice their opinion. The last concept that we use in group discussions is what we call open mic, which is you leave the floor open to anyone to say whatever they want, whenever they want, at any time. Now, there could be debate on pros and cons and what's better and what's worse and yada yada. However, our ministry operates under what we call a free market concept. Therefore, we don't feel there's a right or wrong way to do a small group discussion. However, you will know what's best as a facilitator or as a life group leader in your small group on what works best for you for your group. If going around the table works best for you, great. If open mic is best for you, great. If bouncing around is great, so forth. Use what is best for you. But how do we encourage group discussion regardless of the format, regardless of how your group operates? Here are a few ways that you could encourage group discussion. First, model the expectation. You as the leader are the first one. You're the one everyone looks up to you. Set the pace, be the example, lean forward, be engaged, interact. Be the one that sets the pace, the standard, the bar. So model the expectation. Secondly, use your body language, vocal tones, all those things. The more excited you are, the more you lean forward, the more you listen, the more open you are. These things communicate that you are engaged. But if you lean back, unengaged, if you turn sideways, focused on something else, if you're not smiling, one of the things that I'm always encouraging with our leaders are to smile, 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 smile. And the best way that I am able to communicate an effective fake smile is to over-exaggerate it. I'm not saying be fake. I'm saying to communicate that you care about your group. So lean forward, listen, be open, smile, and do not use your finger to point at individuals. Studies have shown that when a communicator uses their pointer finger, it feels like you're being attacked, flogged, or pointed out because, well, you are. So I like to use the open hand gesture, or simply kind of give my attention with my eyes. It's your turn. Now it's your turn. What do you think? That seems to be more accepting and less attacking. Another thing you can do to encourage group discussion is to use positive reinforcement or positive feedback. That's good. That's a very good point. I like that. By the way, yeah. So be positive. When you start to be negative, like, no, that's lame. Your opinion really is dumb. Well, it encourages people to shut down. It makes you look like a bully, and it does not encourage group discussion at all. People want to have conversations with those that are engaged, with those that have positive feedback. So you as a leader have to encourage positive reinforcement and positive feedback. Another tool you could use, this is not my favorite, but you could ask a question and wait for like 10 seconds. The problem is for 10 seconds it's complete silence, and a lot of people are just uncomfortable with silence. The reality is that 10 seconds will go by faster than you would think. It's a tool to use because someone's going to eventually break the silence, even if that's you. It's just a tool. I am not a big fan of it, but it is a tool. The next is to ask questions directly to someone. Bob, what do you think? Jerry, what would you say about this? Sue, what are your opinions? What are your thoughts? I tend to feel that when I'm asked directly by my leader or by someone a specific question, I'm going to respond to them. It's not likely that people are going to directly ignore you or avoid you just because you've asked a question. Next, you could prime and probe. You can get the topic out there, set up the discussion by talking about the issues, and then probe, send out feeler questions on what everyone thinks. Next, you could set up the expectation prior to the group actually starting, prior to your meeting, prior to everything going out, even in the very first meeting, before the 12 other meetings. Set the expectation that you want to encourage group discussion, that this is an environment that encourages group discussion, that we want group discussion. And if we wanted to sit in another service and listen to one guy speak, we could have done that. If we wanted another Sunday morning, we could have done that. But life groups or a small group format is designed to give you a voice, to give you an opinion. So you can set that expectation early in your meeting. Next is you could focus on the purpose of your discussion very intently. As in, avoid rabbit trails, avoid distractions. When you start to jump onto other topics and other issues, people just tend to get distracted with what the main purpose of the main goal is. Next, use activities or projects. So if today's group were about care packages and making care packages for college students, for your church or whatever, instead of talking about care packages for the next 30 minutes to an hour, why don't we actually put together care packages and have fun? Next, offer food, drinks, and take away the body barriers. Food and drinks are known to help people calm down and open up a little more. Sometimes having that table in the center of everyone is a form of a body barrier. If you remove that table, that might help. If you offer people a place to put their bags and their coats somewhere, it will remove that physical body barrier of their objects or their materials. If you see people crossing their arms a lot, it's just a subconscious way of them not being prepared or they're not ready to be engaged. Offer them material. I like to encourage my groups to bring a journal, a lot like this one, for many reasons, but one of them is because it creates an open posture where they're more open to receive anything you give. So let's go on to our next question. How do we deal with silence when it's absolutely quiet? A few things here. You could just go on and teach and inspire. If everyone's just going to be quiet and listen, fine. Be inspirational. Start to inspire them. Move from teaching to almost like preaching. Except don't become a preacher, just become someone that motivates and inspires. Kind of like a coach, I guess you would say. The second thing you could do is just ask lots of questions. Ask more questions. Ask branching questions. Ask questions that are not yes or no answers, open-ended questions. Just ask. And questions are contagious. Once you start asking, they begin to filter, and more come in, and everyone begins to ask their own questions, and questions. Questions will help break the silence. Third, reword the question, which is basically a reiteration of the previous point. Ask questions. Reword the question. Reiterate the question. Questions. You cannot go with questions. An inquisitive mind is a learning mind, and group environments are all about growth and helping people to learn. The fourth thing you can do is have a pre-planned activity. Have 2 or 3 activities where you are convinced and you are prepared that there's going to be a moment of silence. So instead of letting that silence kind of drown out your meeting, pull in your activity. All right, it's time to do this thing that we're going to do and have a little fun. Create laughter and positive spirits. So let's go on to our last segment here with our last question. How to actually lead a group discussion. Because we want to encourage a discussion, but how do we lead the discussion? We're going to just fly right through these. 1, be prepared for your group. Don't show up unprepared. 2, locate a comfortable meeting place. 3rd, use aids, visual aids, hearing aids, any kind of aids. First aids, just playing. Use aids. 4th, be familiar with your topic. The more familiar you are with it, the more comfortable you are with it. Therefore, the more confident you are with it. Confidence always portrays good communication. Number 5, give everyone needed material that allows them to keep training. Resources, websites, books, etc. Number 6, respect their time. If your thing is just going on and on, well, you're not respecting their time. If you say you're going to be done at 6 o'clock and it's 6:03, you're not respecting their time. Respect their time and move forward. Number 7, consider all comments to be serious in a group format. Sometimes you're going to get questions that don't add up or whatever, but you are in a group, public format, scenario, environment, whatever. Consider those questions to be serious, because you never know what's behind the heart of the question. Number 8, expect brutal and honest discouragement from the people. They might give you feedback, they might say something, they might do something that's just brutally honest and discouraging to you. Expect it. Number 9, think dialogue and avoid interpretation as well as interruption. A lot of times we like to talk and then interrupt, and then talk and interrupt, and yada yada. It's better in a group environment to let them speak, get their 2 cents out, and then dialogue. Number 10, clarify discussion points. So as you talk about things for a moment, just come back and just make sure the point is clear. Number 10, clarify discussion points. Number 11, our last point, is when it's time to wrap it up, wrap it up. Therefore, have a great day. I'll see you in the next step video. Bye.